Nikki here. It has been a while. I hope everyone had an amazing Christmas and everyone's new year is off to a good start. It's been a roller coaster this last month or so, and was encouraged by both my business coach and my therapist to get on here and share what's going on, to let everyone know, for me to just kind of get everything off my chest. And I don't know, hopefully it will help someone else as well who might be going through the same thing. Over the past almost 3 months or so, I've been working with my coach. We decided that we were going to go into a metabolic reset program, and I have been focused on working on my carb intake, as well as fixing my metabolism and figuring out what's going on with my thyroid. When we first started this transition period, which was, I think, the beginning of October, I decided to, I was taking a certain amount of thyroid medication. So right at that point, I was taking about 37.5 micrograms of Cytomel. The previous blood work showed that the generic brand that I was taking wasn't fully working. So I got on name brand and have been taking that at 37.5 micrograms a day. And then, going back and forth with my coach, we were kind of just discussing the ramifications of taking such a high dosage of Cytomel, which is also T3. That it might be a good idea to try to bring that down. And so we brought it down to 25 micrograms. So through the middle of trying to increase food, increase carbohydrates, work on my metabolism, that kind of bit me in the ass, which was expected because, if you're slowing down your metabolism and artificially ramping it up and now slowing it down is going to have some side effects. And it's left me with gaining more weight and feeling more tired and just dealing with more issues of hypothyroidism. And I think at this point I've kind of leveled off. I still don't feel super confident in what I'm doing right now. And even my doctor, she's a PA, I love her, she's awesome, but she's very green, she's very new to being a PA. And I think all of this thyroid stuff is a little bit out of her wheelhouse. And so she decided to say, you know what, let's get you to an endocrinologist. Let's get you to someone who's very experienced in hormones. And I was able to meet with this doctor yesterday. And she pretty much flipped me on my ass. And that was very difficult to handle, I guess. I went in there very confident and stubborn. Because I have a certain thought process and way of how I want things to go. I'm very controlling in that nature. And she basically told me, look, this is how I practice. If this is what you like, great. If I'm someone that you think you can work with, awesome. If not, there's the door. But of course, that's the short version of it. We actually had a really good conversation, and I told her, I said, look, I don't want to come in here and be a stubborn asshole. And she's like, believe me, you are not. She actually told me that just about every week she has this type of conversation with someone that comes to her trying to tell her how they want things to be done and what they think the progression of events and testing and what each client or patient is trying to get out of going to her to see her. And she's like, I'm an endocrinologist. I go by the book. I go by the current research. I'm not a functional doctor. My goal is to get your numbers within range. And that's all she focuses on. So it's not to say that she won't focus on, I've been preaching, if you don't feel good, trust your doctor, advocate for yourself, ask questions. And it's not to say that she wouldn't do that. I don't really know, because that was the first time meeting her. Her bedside manner or her demeanor was very sweet, very calm, very understanding. She was an awesome listener, and I liked what she had to say. Some things I didn't, but that's because, oh, excuse me, my nose is running. But that's because I went into it with a being judgmental before I even met the woman. And so her suggestion to me was, look, I don't deal with T4, I don't deal with T3, I deal with TSH. And only at that point, if you are low or out of range, do I treat you. So I suggest you get off your medications for the next 4 to 6 weeks. We'll test you again and we'll find out if you actually have hypothyroidism. On my journey of dealing with my thyroid, it's been since 2015, and most of that time I was self-medicating and trying to get to a place to get through prep, to stay lean through the year, to use it as assistance anytime I would diet. I do feel that I do have some sort of thyroid issue. It is in the family, and I do feel that something is there, that something needs to be fixed, but I don't know what. So she's like, well, maybe you have sleep apnea. Maybe you need a sleep study. Maybe you have too much stress. Maybe this, maybe that. She's like, maybe it's not your thyroid. I was like, oh, shit. And it's not that I haven't considered all those other things, but I've been so hell-bent on thyroid, that I need to start looking at these other factors, these other lifestyle factors, because my sleeping habits aren't great. I go to bed way too late. I get up way too late, and I'm sure it's throwing off my circadian rhythms. There's many other things I think that I can fix to help fix my metabolic rate. I didn't appreciate that she said, well, you're 44 and blah, 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 blah. That's just the age. I'm like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I know women in their 60s who have beautiful metabolisms, got through perimenopause and menopause without a hitch, have beautiful bodies. It's possible. And there might be a genetic component to that, and that's great. And if I don't, then I'll have to fight genetics by overcompensating with very meticulously done lifestyle changes. So one thing that I thought was really interesting was that she said, I don't ever prescribe Cytomel because it is a volatile drug and it only lasts in your system for 3 or 4 days. Now, when I've looked up the medication before and looked up the half-life, it's about 2.5 days. However, there's also a peak, a trough, and many other pharmacological terms and points within a medication's effectiveness and liveliness that also can affect how you are affected by the drug. So, come to find out, the peak of this drug hits at 3 to 4 hours, right? So this is what happens. I get up, I take, I have a bunch of water, I take my thyroid medication, I go about my day, everything's cool. And 4, 5, 6 o'clock rolls around and I am crashing. And that's when I always have a cappuccino. Like, bar none, second meal that I have after workout, sit down, have my cappuccino, and that's what rides me through the rest of the day. Because my schedule is kind of later in the day, I do a lot of my work after my workout and after that meal. Hey, Chris. And the light bulb went off. I'm like, well, no shit, Sherlock. No wonder I feel the way I feel. It's not to say that other things aren't attributed to how I'm feeling, but so many bells went off, and I was like, this is something that I've used for so many years. It has been such a good tool for me. And I said, look, just like I went to my PA, I said, look, I'm tired of doing this myself. I need your help. I need someone's help. And, she was really grateful for our conversation. And she's like, look, I'll write you a script for blood work. We'll test your TSH, and we'll also find out if you have Hashimoto's or not. And then we'll go from there. So, she initially said 6 weeks, and she's like, minimum 4. So I'm scared, you guys, and you're going to come on this journey with me to see what happens as I completely come off this medication. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what my metabolism is going to do. I don't know if, oh, thank you. I don't know if I'm going to gain more weight. I don't know if I'm going to be more tired and lethargic. I don't know if my training's going to go to shit. I have no idea. And notice how everything I'm saying is negative, negative, negative. I don't want that to be the case, but I do know the body pretty well. And I haven't been off of this drug in a long time. I have been off before and I was fine, like at that point in time. So that kind of leads me to believe that there could be some sort of autoimmune disorder involved, because with Hashimoto's, you can run high and low. It's a very, I don't know the whole background to Hashimoto's, but it seems like it's hard to medicate because sometimes you're going to be hypo, sometimes you might be a little hyper, and it's hard to catch. And so at any given point in time, if you don't feel right, you got to go. You got to get labs because they need to get a snapshot of where you are at that given moment, because a month, 2 months, 3 months later, you might feel better. And so then the tables might be turning as to what your thyroid's doing. I did have a thyroid ultrasound, I believe, last year. So I have no nodules, no issues with it. Everything came out very clean. Both my mom and my grandmother have had nodules and surgeries. So it's not far-fetched that what I'm dealing with. It's just very frustrating. And I think the hardest part, you guys, is whatever your profession is, right? You want to be the best at what you do. And unfortunately, and fortunately, this is a profession that, most people should look the part. And, lucky for me, I have all my competitions in the background. I've gotten really lean over the last several years since competing. And I have the experience to back it up. I knew my shit. But it's frustrating that I can fix all these other people and I can read between the lines and I know these people inside and out. And I'm like, why don't I know myself that way? And this is why a lot of coaches have coaches, because they are neurotic, one, and two, need someone's outside opinion because the wheels are turning and we want to change things all the time, or at least I do. And I need someone to sit my ass down and say, look, you stay there, you do this and do it for this long and don't change it until I tell you to change it. And that's what I need, because I don't see myself the way I see everybody else. And this is another reason why I haven't really been putting up pictures or videos. Like I don't feel good. Partially because I don't feel like I look good, but partially because I really don't feel good. Oh my God, my nose. Sorry guys. Not crying yet, so my nose is just running. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So I don't know how often I'm going to get on here. I love doing lives. I love doing this. Like there's one person watching and I'm just rattling off and talking and watching myself talk. And I know that at some point, like someone else will be able to hear this when I post it. And I hope you enjoy what I talk about, in hopes that maybe you two are going through something similar. As of right now, I'm on hormone replacement therapy, which is just right now it's testosterone. So I inject that every other day. It's much, much better to keep even blood levels, and because females don't have as much testosterone as men, even the smallest of fluctuations can throw you off a bit. So I was doing 2 injections per week. Now I'm just doing every other day. So that seems to be working really well. Once you affect one sex hormone, you affect the other. So it's kind of hard to figure out that part too. But for me, I feel really good on it. And I've seen great results using it. And that's something that I don't want to mess with, because feel like everything else is controlled as far as blood work's concerned. Liver, kidney, cholesterol, all those things are really good. But, I am taking a very potent version of my thyroid med, and the more research that I've been doing, even in the last day, it's going to take several days for my thyroid to kick in to start making its own hormone. So I don't know what that's going to mean. I don't know how I'm going to feel. Today was the first day that I decided not to take it, and nothing negative has happened, nothing positive has happened. I feel good. I think I would say maybe I don't feel as I didn't have as low as a dip going into my post workout meal, which is when I have my coffee. So that's a good sign. But at the same time, we'll see how that progresses, meaning if my energy level drops right out of the gate in the morning, that's going to be really tough to get up and rolling. I don't want to use caffeine as a means to get my energy levels back, but if I have to, I have to. I mean, I have a daughter to take care of. I have to train, I have to work, I have a partner who I want to be present for. And so if I have to kind of ramp up the caffeine a little bit, so be it. That's fine. That's how it'll be. But yeah, so 4 to 6 weeks, and we'll see what happens. So you guys are going to jump on this journey with me, and I'll let you know how it goes. And I just really appreciative of all the support I have between my fiance, my parents, my business coach Jeremy, and my therapist Marav. Really really helpful, and a lot of my clients too. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Your stories that you tell me, the things that we discuss, the things that we help each other with, it's just awesome. And I hope that beyond that group of people that I can help inspire all of you who might be going through similar issues or any issues at all to speak up and talk and write. DM me, please DM me if you guys have any questions or comment or anything that you might need help with or just want to bounce ideas off of. One of my clients, Carly, who is also a coach now, we go back and forth all the time. It's so much fun. She puts up some great posts and really dives into different subjects with her clients and her audience, and it's just awesome to go back and forth with her and someone who she looks up to me, I look up to her, and I really enjoy our conversations. And so anyone, hey, and so anyone who would like to go back and forth and troubleshoot some ideas, please message me. I really enjoy those, and it gives me ideas and sets off light bulbs of things that I need to research or pulls things from my past that I can make connections to. But all right, this is long enough. And again, I hope everyone's new year is off to a good start. Mine is all right. I think doing this helps me immensely, and I came off of social media for a while because of how I felt, and I don't know, I think I got on one day and I'm like, I just don't want to see any of this shit, any of it, none of it. I didn't want anything to do with it. Didn't like what I was seeing in my feed, and it was just random stuff. There was nothing specific, but it was just like, I don't want to put myself out there. But I know that I'm doing a disservice to myself and thanks Diane, to myself and others, because I know that these stories are important, and whatever I can do to help someone else makes me happy, and it's what I do. So, all right, guys. Again, not sure when I'll be back on again. Maybe I'll do some short ones of like random complaints and shit that I go through that changes, and like silly play-by-play stuff. But maybe these longer videos I'll just do once a week. But all right, I'm out. Everyone, stay safe. Be careful wherever you're at, and have a good evening. Thank you.